welcome to Faith in the Gaps. My name is Em, and this is my weekly podcast, for lack of a better term. Let's see here. So I kind of left off, just kind of telling a little bit about myself. I didn't go much into college. I've been in multiple colleges for forever, and I'm finally out of college, finally, unless student loans take over, and then, which they already have, and which means I may be going back to school and paying full tuition just so I don't have to pay the school loans, but so is the way in life, right? So I want to talk a little bit about, I remember my freshman year of college. My second day of college classes was my high school graduation exercises, and it was really interesting that I come in and I decide that, hey, I want to take world religions, and I was told I was nuts. It was a junior level course, and I was a freshman, and I said, I can do it, and I did do it. It was taught by a Southern Baptist and in a public university. Not that it mattered, but he did inform us that his view and slants on various religions was based on the Southern Baptist point of view. And I just was fascinated with the course. I loved it. Of course I didn't pass it with an A or a B, but I did make a C, and as a freshman, taking a junior level course, making a C is a good deal. So, passed it. It also was between 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right above Subway, in the, I can't remember the name of I can't remember the name of the building, but there used to be a Subway down underneath at UTSA, and so you could smell them baking the bread, and oh my gosh, it was the most heavenly smell. But, oh my gosh, I was hungry and exhausted, because around 1 o'clock I just started to slide into taking nap mode. And so it was kind of interesting, to say the least. But, I think why I find this so interesting was the fact that his point of view. So let's talk about point of view. So if you've been keeping up with the news, Notre Dame caught on fire, and by a construction crew. And then earlier there was a mosque in, I think, not Germany, but in the Middle East, that caught on fire as well. So while I understand Notre Dame was a cathedral and it was due to construction, it's really kind of interesting that we had these opposing religions, back and forth with one another. To me, it just seems kind of sad, in all honesty, because as much as Ben and I agree on things, we also, I look at the Muslim faith and the Christian faith very much in the same light. Nowadays, unfortunately, they're like two teenage kids that disagree and have spats, although they come from the same familial line. And I think that's what the most frustrating part about all of this in this world is that, in the Bible it says we should not attack a brother. In the Quran, it also says that. Yet, the Quran also defines us as kafirs, which is not a good thing. But in the Christian faith, we're told to accept all, and show them the way to Christ. Well, great. All right. So, but we don't. And so we hear about these constant conflicts, and to me, it's like, why would I want to join your faith if all you do is fight with somebody? I deal with that enough in the real world. Why do I need that? And if you're going to follow a book that was written with the divine inspiration of the Holy Spirit attached, why the hell? Why the hell am I going to, if you can't follow the simple book, why the hell should I follow you? And that's really what this comes down to. And, so this all leads up to me, we talk about churches, right? And I told you I used to belong to this Anglican church, which the Episcopal Church and the Anglican Church split after some issues, and I went in and decided, well, I'll try Anglicanism. We'll see how this flies. And I loved it. It was a high ritualistic mass, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But I've come to, after being away from it for almost 3 years now, I've come to realize that it wasn't really the ritual. It really wasn't even the belief system of it. It was the people there that made the church. And, they had, we'll just call him Father Harper or Father Chip, whatever you want to call him. He led the church. And, and people were like, you owe a lot to him. He supported you and all that. I'm like, yeah. But what I've come to realize is that, like many men and / women, we are all sinners. And the thing was, though, is that he was quick to point out sin, but never to acknowledge his own. Pride being one of them. And, he had some crazy beliefs. Like Warhammer 40K and Magic Portal Gathering were Satanistic. Like, are you kidding me? It's a fictional story, and I think to me that just was insanity in a lot of ways. But he believed the Masonic orgs were Satanistic. And in one view of the Bible, it could be. Because you're taking oath on a Bible, not taking an oath to God. You're taking an oath to an allegiance to being silent to a people. And so, I guess I could see that point of view. However, I see a lot of the good work the Masonic world does, and then I also see that they only take care of themselves. They're no better than the church. So, in a lot of ways, and the church, don't get me wrong, helps people that are in need, like the widow and the orphan. But kid you not, they do it so they can get media shots. Doing it because they genuinely want to do it is a whole... I've yet to see a church do that. No offense, I just haven't. It's all about taking care of each other, and they'll take care of each other first before they will take care of anybody in need. And so, at this rate, why do I bother? Why do I bother searching for a church? Is really what it comes down to. If I can't trust the people that are supposed to know the most about what a church is supposed to be, what it's religiously is supposed to be, and what it's supposed to adhere to, yet nobody follows it, why should I go? And that's what I'm left with, non-stop, is why should I? And then, I listen to a lot of religious music, and, there's this peace that comes over me when I listen to it, but I still am left with these questions, like, why do I follow somebody else? As far as the church is concerned, why bother? Why not just listen to myself? Follow the word, be a strict, Bible-oriented person, but not worry about everything else, the everything else mode. And there are days that it really feels like that I should. But then, I know women aren't supposed to lead the church, but like, this guy that this priest that I followed for so long, I saw him at another church because he got kicked out of ours, and by the bishop, and I saw him at another church, and sitting there taking communion from a female. Yet this was his biggest pet peeve. Oh my gosh, he'd go on about it. And yet, there I sit in a church watching him take. And to me, that's a hypocrite. It's a hypocrite in the biggest form. And you're wearing a collar. You're leading a group of people. You are a shepherd of the sheep. And yet, you can't even live what you preach. It's no wonder millennials quit attending church. I'll genuinely say that. I believe they believe in God, but they're what they call nuns. They don't, and that's Nones, not nuns like Roman Catholics. But I genuinely believe that the nuns, the church has lost its way in every sense of the word, and I don't know if they'll ever get it back. And that's the sad part, is I think there's a few of us that continue to search, and Ben's really about the Orthodox Church, and I can agree. I like the Orthodox Church. I like what it states. I like how it reads it, but I disagree with their interpretation of the Holy Spirit. I do. I just don't agree with that. And so, it's like the priest I dealt with. Church isn't supposed to be this buffet and it's have it your way. You just take it for what it is. So, I agree with most everything you're telling me, but I don't agree with all of it, so I'll just ignore the part that, well, then you're not really celebrating the faith and you're not truly accepting it for what it is. So I guess my question is that why is it so hard to interpret the Bible for its straight, what it says? And why do people want to keep changing it? And why do they want to keep adding to it? These are frustrations I have, and it's annoying, for lack of a better term. It's annoying, and I haven't, and then when you see what's going on in the real world and this whole society going amok, because that's, for lack of a better term, this is what society has become. We all fake it, we all smile. We all agree, we act like we agree with this stuff, but in all honesty, we don't. If you pull people aside one-on-one and say, hey, do you really agree with that? No. Then why are you agreeing to it out in public? Oh, because it's safer that way. Is it now safer to lie in our society than to tell the truth? Because there used to be a time where it was safer to tell the truth than to tell a lie. And yet, it seems like in society today, all we do is lie. Think about that. It's safer to lie than it is to tell the truth in our society. And if we see our faiths, do nothing but fight with one another, and we're supposed to model ourselves after these faiths, what is the point of us being civil to one another? It's like a parents going through a divorce, and you've got some churches believing in divorce, others only believing in certain types of divorces, and those that believe that you should pay to be married in their church after a divorce. Yeah. They will actually deny you the blood and body of Jesus Christ because you got a divorce. Although annulled in another faith, in the same apostolic succession, they will still require you to pay in order to receive communion. Talking about an exclusive club there, that's $1,500 for 3 divorces. Yeah. Roman Catholic Church, folks. And, I just don't understand. Like, the Pope washing the feet of Muslims. That blows my mind on a whole different level. It's... Granted, religions have always been fought. They've always fought. It's like bad children. And organized religion, in all honesty, in my opinion, was created to organize man to create great feats of strength. Hence why in the Egyptians, they worshipped the pharaohs, and that's how they built the pyramids. The Greeks believed in their gods, and they were able to conquer half the world. So did the Romans. Using religion to organize man under set guides and principles is nothing new. I think when you take it to an extreme of follow me, follow me, follow me, do what I say, I think that ends up being very cult-like. And I think a lot of today's religions, it's become cult-like instead of doing what's best for society and man in general and organizing men to do great things. It's not that, it's individualistic ideals. And we talk about, it's sad. I'm at a mind's loss right now for how to deal, trying to find faith in the gaps of our society. And I do. If normal people can sit and genuinely have a conversation of different religions, of different denominations, of different faiths, and genuinely have a discussion, not get angry, not throw a fit, but be able to see and recognize what their faith has. If you study all the faiths, they all have the same same beliefs, like 5 major cores, and treat your neighbors as you would yourself, love one another, worship God. 3 basic, pretty simple things. Now, how they define God, how they define their neighbor, how do you, and all that are all different. But the core underlining faith is the same. And I think that's what we all forget. We focus too much on our differences and not so much on our similarities. If we could actually focus on the similarities that we all share in all of our religious beliefs, who says that, God couldn't be a peacock? I mean, because it's God. It's a supreme being, for lack of a better term. Many say, well, but what about the atheist? Well, the atheists are just as much as religious believers as not, because they have to believe that God doesn't exist in order to believe in atheism. So they have to believe something does not exist. Well, to believe in the negative that something does not means that you believe it does exist. See, folks, it's when I adamantly believe that something does not exist, it means I acknowledge the fact that it does. And that's how I view that. So, anyway, thanks for taking a listen to Faith in the Gaps. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'd love to hear your comments. If you write me at faithinthegaps@gmail.com, I'll be able to take your show suggestions and be able to tell you my thoughts on them. You guys have a blessed day. Thanks for listening. Bye.